This is Mo Bashir for the hook. Delighted to be joined by English Cruiserweight Champion John Hedges. John, firstly, thank you so much for having me in the gym.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
are you?
yeah, all good, Mo. More than welcome. You see what it's about today. Done a bit of training. Me, Freddie, Frank Greaves. It's just good working here, bro. Innit? It's good vibes. Work hard and get the rewards.
Awesome. You had 40 wins in the amateurs
Yep.
out of 44. You turned over 17 years of age.
Yeah, actually signed with my manager at 17. That was Adam Morali and Sam Jones at the time. Signed and then had my 18th birthday. So I actually declared my contract with Matchroom on my birthday, April 11th. So yeah, it was a sick day, wasn't it? Good birthday, signed with Matchroom, and then made my debut in October that year. So yeah.
That was some birthday present. But I was reading as well that you could have gone to the Tokyo Olympics. Like you were weighing up whether turning pro and then going to the Olympics. Just what was that like time like?
So yeah, with that, it's the Olympic side of things. There's a lot of politics, and you have to rank your points up and things like that. And remember, I never had a senior fight, so I turned pro with no senior experience. All my titles I won was as a youth and a junior. So I was kind of looking at put it this way, I was looking at how the schedule was looking. I got picked for the World Games in Montenegro, and then COVID hit. So it was like, even if I won gold in the World Games, the chances are they're still probably not going to take me to these Olympics because I need to get my points up. So it looked like 2024 really. And do I want to stay amateur 4 years, not really earning any money, sacrificing a lot of your life? Nah, I thought if the offer's there with Eddie, let's just take it, man, and jump in. And I had a hard start, fought a south on my debut, but I think, yeah, do you know what? Like, kind of achieved a lot for my age, man. And there's a lot of people who turned pro with me have not pro no more. Do you know what I mean? They've had to retire or it's just found out it's not for them. So I think my attitude to stay disciplined and continue through the good times and the bad is what's kept me here.
You know, like, well, I guess when you're younger, and you can vouch for it more than me, but like when you're younger, you have this idea of what it's like to turn pro.
Yeah.
And you've turned pro. Like, is it? I guess it is all that it's cracked up to be. But like, is there anything that surprised you about the pro side of the game?
I don't think so. It's a dog sport, boxing. I've always said that. The whole fight game is a dog sport. It's each man for their own. There's no team players. The most loyal in the game, I've got to say, is my manager, Adam Morali. I've been with him since the start. We've not had one argument, not one disagreement. Do you know what I mean? So speak very highly of him. And I've been with Eddie since the start as well. But I'm aware of what I bring to the table, and I'm aware that everyone has to earn money, including Eddie Hearn, including my manager, and that's how life works, right? You invest in somebody, they invest in me. I've got to earn money, but at the same time, they need to earn theirs. Same as Frank Greaves, my coach. He's not going to train me for free because ultimately money makes the world go around. Do you know what I mean? So I'm aware. I think I'm very aware of what it is. Boxing don't owe me nothing. I owe nothing to boxing. I've got everything that I put into boxing. I've already got out. I got that out 4 years ago when I first turned pro. Do you know what I mean? That just making my debut on Sky Sports, my investment come true because I wanted to be a TV fighter. So boxing owes me nothing. I owe boxing nothing. And when the day comes, please God, I'm wealthy and put my feet up, I can walk away from the sport happily, health intact. And yeah, that's the way I look at it. Do you know what I mean? So I think long as you're aware that it's a dog game, you can't be, oh my God, I can't believe this has happened to me. It's going to happen. Do you know what I mean? That's the game you're in.
Well, I mean, when you went into it, was the goal like to earn money or was it to become a world champion? Like, how did you balance the two?
I'll be honest with you, mate. I'm a money driven man. However, I just wanted to make a pro debut. So there's not, when people sit there and say, I'm going to be the next world champion, I'm going to be this. My aspirations are a little bit different. Maybe I look at life a little bit negatively, but I don't know. That's just my outlook. And my thing was have a pro debut, fight on TV, and weigh up my options. Like I say, I'm not owned by boxing. I'm switched on enough. I can go and earn a living elsewhere. Do you know what I mean? But it'd be a disjustice to myself to spend 12 years in amateur boxing since 6 years old doing nothing else to not go and try and earn some money at the job you've done all your life. I've missed out on endless opportunities, and you know the same old cliche, you miss your childhood and things like that to stay in boxing. So to then just to retire and look round and just have trophies and medals, that's a disjustice to yourself, right? Do you know what I mean? Them trophies and medals are nice to look at and don't earn no money. They haven't gave your kids, please God, when you get older, anything to really be proud of. So I think this is what it's about now. That's why Southern area come to me with a 5-0 opponent. 100% I want that fight. Do you know what I mean? I want to beat that man. I want the Southern area. Then the English title comes straight after. Don't ask me. I'm taking it. I'm accepting every fight. After that, Elisoro, former world title challenger. Yes, don't even ask me. Let's go. And that's the attitude I take. And I think it's got me here. Do you know what I mean? Like I was saying this the other day, Eddie knows I don't duck no one, and I don't mean that as this big tough fighting man. But genuinely, King Kong walk through the door, pay me fairly, not pay me the world, pay me fairly, and me and him will get it on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we'll come on to that, but 6'5". 6'6". Sorry.
Every inch counts.
Yeah, it does. Especially when you're like 5 foot. Like, southpaw, but you're making super middle. Like, how was that? That must have been hard.
Oh, mate, absolutely awful. During COVID as well. So as you can imagine, the saunas and the easier ways of making weight ain't open, put it that way, because COVID. So I was just at home, literally eating bare minimum and just cracking on, bro. And
How do you make weight like that?
when I made 76.2, so I actually made championship. I didn't even do a catch weight. I made super middle on the dot. I could have fought for a world title, basically. Do you know what I'm saying? It was just tough, man. But in my head, I'd always been big at the weight in the amateurs. I just didn't let myself put on no muscle. Just kept myself scrawny as hell. And I believe Sam Jones said it back in the day. I think I was the tallest super middleweight campaigning at that time. Yeah. Because I think, like I say, 6'4". I know I've grown a little bit, but I was a massive super middleweight. And it just done me no favours, bro. Like, it done me no favours at all making that weight. However, I learnt me a lot in life. Because in the back of my mind, I thought, I'm so young. If I'm not big at the weight, I'm not going to win this fight. Because it's that amateur background. And it's like, in the amateurs, you want to be as big as you can. It's only 3 rounds. And it's in big gloves. It's not in 10 ounces. So it was a big wake-up call. I moved up to light heavy straight after. And never actually made light heavy championship weight. So I made super middle, but I couldn't make light heavy. And then went straight up to cruiser. And then, obviously, now I've campaigned at cruiser for a while now. And it's my weight, bro. Like, everyone says I'm not the biggest of cruisers because I started at super middle. I think I make most cruiserweights look small. I think I'm as big as a heavyweight.
What was that transition like from like middle to cruiser? I guess you can eat more, and I guess you could train better.
Yeah. Do you know what? It weren't even like, it was just that I let my body go, and before I knew it, I was 100 kilo. And that sounds crazy, and people are gonna say you must have been eating loads of shit, but genuinely, I think my body was just needed to move. Do you know what I mean? I've done so many years for the amateurs of killing myself making weight, and I boxed that. My last lose was to a fighter called Dan Telwood. He boxed on the Misfits card last week. And he was my last lose. And if you look at Dan, I think he's campaigned that super welter. And that was my last lose. Do you know what I mean? So that's the sort of level I was fighting at, that weight category. Do you know what I mean? I was always boxing at the smaller weights. So then to come into the bigger weights, my body just needed to go up.
And then talk about training. So you've been, I think you've been with one coach throughout your life, and then obviously with Ricky.
Yeah, man.
Just like, what was that? How come you left? Well, actually, you don't have to go into it if you don't want to, but like, how come you left, and what did you see in Ricky Hatton that made you want to make the move to Manchester?
Yeah, do you know what? Like I say, so I had my amateur coach I started off at Repton, but then I was only there a few years. Then I moved, that was in Bethnal Green. Then I moved back to Hertfordshire, which is 25 minutes from my house, and I trained with coach Sab Leo. Sab's a very good amateur coach. I owe a lot to him for my amateur success because basically I weren't that good at Repton. Moved to Hoddesdon and won everything. So big shout out to Sab. And from there I moved to Mark Tibbs because basically I had my debut with Sab Leo, and you know, as you do in boxing, you get ear roll blowers and people putting your confidence off. I had no confidence, bro. After my debut, I was ready to probably call it a day because I got slaughtered. Go online and write John Hedges debut. Oh, mate, I got absolutely hammered, like, badly. So when that happened, I was like, is it this good?
And you was 18 as well?
I was 18, yeah, man. It was just COVID. You got to remember there was a lot of eyes on boxing because no one had anything to do. Everyone was at home. So
that was in the Matchroom back garden, wasn't it?
MK Don Stadium. It was just before. It was before even the Matchroom Garden shows. So it shows you this was like early COVID. Right. When it first came about, people are dropping down the streets. So do you know what I mean? It was mad. So I moved to Mark Tibbs, and me and Mark had a great connection and had 5 years with them, man. Do you know what I mean? And we was close, but he done me dirty, bro. In my opinion, I was getting ready for an English title fight. Fight was announced. And he went to Future Ventura with another fighter, Johnny Fisher, and I couldn't go with him. So he just basically said, I'm doing a one-on-one camp with Johnny. Yeah. So I was left in no man's land. I was like, I'm fighting for an English title, bro. I need a coach. Yeah. So me and Ricky was mates for years. We've been mates for years. And it was mad. I got married and I went to Ibiza a couple of days after my wedding with my missus. And Ricky was over there. So Rick was like, what are you doing over in Ibiza? Come meet me. Went and met him, and it was just mad. You know when you say things are meant to be? He put his arm around me. He said, listen, you need anything, you know where I'm at. You've got my number, ring me. So literally, I packed my bag to go to Future Ventura because I thought I was going on the Tuesday
with Mark Tibbs.
With Mark Tibbs, yeah. I thought I was going on the Tuesday. Wednesday, Mark rings me and he's like, mate, you can't come. All right then, mate, nice. 5 years down the drain, basically, but is what it is, man. I was like, right, so what do you want me to do then? He was like, oh, what do you want to do? Like, do you know what I mean? I mean, no, man, I've got a fight in 6 weeks, bro. And it was like, I've got no coach. So I literally packed my bag to go Future Ventura, took all the swim shorts out, put a load of training stuff in and moved to Manchester the same week. Run Ricky up. I was like, Rick, I need a coach, mate. Like, can you help me? I said, I haven't got a lot of dough around me. I've got an English title fight. Is there any way you can help me? He went, John, there's a hotel 5 minutes from my gym called The Village. I'll go and have a word with them. I'll get you a cheaper nightly rate. Get yourself here. So I literally, it sounds like a movie, doesn't it? I took my swim shorts out of my suitcase. I went and put a load of sweatsuits in because I was a bit fat where I'd been letting myself go through just like being a bit depressed and that. And then, yeah, done my bag up, jumped in the motor, drove to Manchester, and I stayed there for 6 weeks until I boxed.
In the hotel?
Yeah. Just paid for the hotel there. And then I was like, look, got a credit card out. I was like, right, this is me. I'd done one session with Rick. I was like, mate, you're the nicest man, a great coach. I ain't leaving you. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, literally, bro, I literally moved there. I was like, right, went to the one behind the desk. I was like, if I pay up front, can you do me a discount? Come on, begging her. Sorted me a bit of a discount. And that was me, mate. Yeah, went and won the English title. So, yeah, mad story, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is. And what was it about Ricky that, I guess, in that one training session that you saw? And obviously he's a great fighter. But what was he like as a trainer and just as a guy?
I'd compare Rick, I'm not just saying it because I'm with Frank now, a lot to Frank. I like, so when I moved to Frank Greaves, I didn't look at no other coach. I'd done a session with him, fell in love with him, like in the sense of his coaching, and didn't leave. Because I think when you go looking for more, the more's not always there. Do you know what I mean? You've just got to make sure you're happy and you think you're getting enough. And the thing what I like with Rick, and the same as with Frank, there's no shadow. They're a boxing trainer because they want to do boxing. They want to be a trainer. They want to see me successful. They want to be in the winning corner. That's important. And I think if a pound note rules your life, that's when there's the bond will break up. Like if I said to Frank, I got no dough, you're going to get your 10% if this ever come, 2 weeks after the fight instead of a week, he'd just laugh at me. He's like, why are you telling me that? Like, do you know what I mean? I'm like, don't matter. Oh no, I'll get my money, I'll trust you, you trust me. That's the relationship you need with a coach, right? Yeah. Same with Ricky. Rick knew I was on my ass. I'll be honest with you, I haven't told many people, but he never took no money off me. Because he said, John, I'm financially secure. Don't want your money. You've just had to pay for an hotel without even knowing you was coming here. So all them little things and their willingness to train you is unreal. Like, because ultimately, it's hard work to train us fighters. And I actually said, for my last fight, Frank put a lot on the line. Mate, he took me in 5 weeks' notice. Imagine I go and get knocked out by Lisoro. He looks like a terrible coach. Do you know what I mean? I'm this next big prospect. I move to Frank and I get chinned. So whose eyes? The eyes go on Frank, don't they? So that's why I think you need that bond. A fighter and coach need that more than just boxing. And I want you to be a millionaire. Do you know what I mean? So, and I think that's what you get with Ricky Hatton and Frank.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, you mentioned like you were quite skint. And I've been there, but like but then I always feel like from all the fighters that I've spoken to, right, they always talk about the struggle, but then they always point to the end goal. So like the struggles seem the struggles seem like nothing compared to the end goal.
100%.
So for you, like, was the end goal stronger than the struggles that you were going through at the moment?
Yeah, I'm like mentally driven to not do myself disjustice, and I say that word a lot, but I'm like, I can't fail. Like, if it don't go right, give me a rematch. I'll beat this man. Like, I'd fight the same fella 10 times until I beat him. Like, that's my mentality. Do you know what I mean? I'm never settling to be worse than someone. So, like even my car out there, I've got a Volkswagen Golf. I had that when I was at Sab Leo's gym in the amateurs. I kept the same car. Do you know what I mean? Things like that. I've not gone out my way to add expense. I've kept very down to earth. I bought a chalet. I got married. I've had a lot of good things happen in my life, but what boxing's paid for. But at the same time, I've been careful. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I've experienced good things in life, and I just think like by having this mentality, I'm now in the position where the likes of Pat Brown fights could happen, the Chev Clark fights, the fucking Alois Jr. fights, all these names, even the international fighters, they're gonna happen because I've put myself here. Do you know what I mean? If I was ducking and diving, I wouldn't be here now. So yeah, man.
So Ellis Zora comes, you beat him.
Yeah.
And is that it? Is Frank Greaves sort of like going to be your coach going forward?
Yeah. Like I said to Frank before I went into that fight, we prepped as much as we could in 5 weeks. So I said to Frank, look, if I can't beat Ellis, no disrespect to Ellis, and that's I mean that honestly, with 5 weeks training of what we was doing, then maybe
what were you doing?
we was grafting. Like he give me every second of his day to basically get me ready. I'd fight, like I say, it was 5 weeks, so we was just putting work in. Technically, I had a lot of faults. He was putting them right to a degree because he couldn't do everything. He couldn't strip me back. And yeah, I basically just said, look, if this goes wrong, this is on me. It ain't on no one else, because with 5 weeks at that level of coach, you should be good enough, especially with your natural talent. So there was never no, if it went wrong, I was going to leave anyway. It was because it was on me. Do you know what I mean? It ain't his fault. So yeah, once I beat him, we'd done a better job than our lawyers. Let's have it right. And that was on 5 weeks' notice. So I just think once I beat him, it was like, right, let's go. Let's actually do a pre-camp. Let's do some serious work together. And mate, I ain't really been out of the gym. I had a couple of weeks in Thailand and then come straight back. So yeah, we're grafting.
Yeah, I've seen like from what some of the pad work you're doing here. Like, see, I'm not an expert, but it did look like it was quite technical that you were just working on the shots. Is that something that that's conscious that you're trying to do?
Because I'd say I'm a technical fighter and I rely on my flair, but I don't think my flair's probably changed since the amateur days because I've never worked no more on it. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm like, oh, you're good at that. I'm not brilliant at it. I'm just good at it. So then getting with someone like Frank, breaking you down, correcting the little 1% here and there, you then become very good at it. And then you can do that not just for 3 rounds, you do it for 10 rounds. And do you know what I mean? All little things like that. And then I think unless you practice it and you break it down, you're never going to learn. Like I always said, I can do it on a bag, I can't do it in sparring. Why can't I do it in sparring? When I'm sparring people who are heavyweight killers, how can you try shots? You're going to get knocked out if it goes wrong. So we've got lower level sparring in to try it. Then we go back to higher level. So I was literally sparring someone on a Friday, then I went and sparred Jermaine Franklin on a Saturday. So it was like, right, you've done it on the Friday, now let's go do it on the Saturday. And that's how it worked, man. I've done about 40 rounds with Jermaine before he boxed Moses. I was his main sparring partner for the last 2 weeks. Well, last 4 weeks. So yeah, we've got some good work in, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And what did you make of, just a bit of time, what did you make of Jermaine Franklin's performance against Atama, considering you sparred him?
Yeah, I was doing well in the spars, man, so I kind of expected it, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Jermaine. I think he's a very tough fighter, though. Sorry, Frank. Yeah, very tough fighter. Durable as hell. Moses is a sensational talent. Like, if anything, he is. I don't even think, if anything, he's the man. Like, he has been since I've been an amateur with him. We was on the same team together. I've seen him since 12 years of age. We've sparred each other. We've fought with each other. We've been in international tournaments together. He's the guy. Do you know what I mean? When you talk boxing, Moses the is at the top. So to do 5 rounds with Moses, that's going to be a decent play, in my opinion, genuinely. And he took some punishment and he got through it, didn't he? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, credit to him. And he got a nice, I hope so anyway, he got a nice bit of money and sorted his family out.
Okay, let's talk about you. Pat Brown, you made the trip to Altrincham.
Yep.
The 8-9 hour round trip to
mate.
Altrincham. Like, what was going on? Like, how come you made the trip?
Eddie goes to me, John, come down to Altrincham, let's get this fight announced. I accepted it. Done all the dotting the I's and crossing the T's, whatever you'd say, and made the purse make sense and made sure my trainer accepted it as well. Do you know what I mean? So all in. Yeah, 9 hours, literally, bro. It took me about 5 hours to get there, 4 hours to get back. Absolute mission. And then just dismissed the fight in the ring sort of thing. So it was a perfect opportunity, I think, for not just me, but for Pat not to build a fight, because the fight's big enough. Do you know what I mean? People know it's going to be a scrap, but I think, look, all he had to say was, let's get it on. Do you know what I mean? Let's be fair, if that was me, I've just knocked out a man or stopped a man who's not really been stopped, a durable fella. You should be on cloud 9. Let's go. Do you know what I mean? I'd have been there. If that was me, you've turned up to Pat, for example, has turned up to Essex. You're in my backyard. Let's go. Do you know what I mean? That's all it had to be. But so maybe he's got other plans. Maybe he don't fancy it, or maybe he's hurt his hand. He's thinking he needs a bit of time off. I don't know. He's a nice man. He comes across well. But look, in boxing, everyone should be fighting each other. I think that's one thing fight fans must be sick of, people trying to protect their O's. Just get it on. Do you know what I mean? Someone's got to win, someone's got to lose. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's how I see it.
I mean, he did say, obviously this one would be for the English.
Yeah.
He thinks he's past the English.
And I agree on that, by the way. I believe I'm past the English. How many more times can I keep? I've won it. I've defended it to a former world title challenger. Who else do I need to prove myself against? In my opinion, as well. So I think the English should be off the line. But he won that night 2 of them nice little fucking black belt and red belts. Do you know what I mean? IBF and a WBA. Chuck them on the line. If you're telling me they get you a world ranking, forget about my English. Me and you get it on for them, and I'm pretty sure another governing body would jump in as well. So the English is gone. I don't see that, because English is gone, but the opponent's still there. Do you know what I mean? I want the British. The British ain't vacant, so me and you fight. Let's go.
Well, when was that fight going to take place and where?
Don't know exactly, mate. I think, to be honest with you, because of how matching back Pat, I think he'd be up north. I don't think I'm saying that disrespectfully. I think that's pretty much what they're going to do. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm happy for an away day. Do you know what I mean? I don't mind. Like I say, I don't mean it in a bad way, but I'll fight anyone anywhere. So, yeah, I basically said I actually think I'm probably easy to promote, right? Like I'm going to Eddie. Yes. It'll be in Manchester, no problem. Will you fight Pat? Yes, I will. Do you want this? No, I don't. Do you know what I mean? I'm just saying, let's get it on. So I've made it as clear as possible to make this fight happen, and that goes for any big fight. If it ain't Pat, it can be someone else up there.
Who would you, if it isn't Pat?
I think the names would make sense. Chev Clark got mandatory. I don't really know, no disrespect to Chev, how he got mandatory, because I believe me being more recent form should have been made it, but it's gone, innit? Do you know what I mean? So if Pat don't fight, then let me and Chev get on for a vacant British. Yeah. If the British don't become vacant, me and I suppose you got Aloy's in the mix, and yeah, like he's up there world ranked.
He's been
quite inactive, so maybe look at me as an easy touch. I don't know. So there's names in there though. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm ready for all the bigger names, but I should be in the British mix. Do you know what I mean? Domestic scene is where I'm at.
Religion. I wanted to. You mentioned a couple of times, like, please God. Like, it seems like you're quite a religious man. Like, how does that? Are you just brought up religious?
Kind of. A bit of a mixture of my own. Like, I'm a Christian. My wife's Christian. I mean, Nan's a Jehovah's Witness, which is like a bit of an offsider, but she's she loves her religion. We're all faith driven. Do you know what I mean? I'm not gonna say, look, we all sin, of course, like in our own ways. Sin is sin, and it can be as little as chucking a bit of rubbish on the floor. But I am faith driven, and I genuinely think a lot of me being here today and still fighting when there's been some. Look at the year I had. A trainer who I had 5 years with, who I've been loyal to, gets rid of me. My next trainer commits suicide, and I'm on my third trainer, all in the space of 10 months. So, do you know, like, if you haven't got faith, how else am I getting through that stuff? So that's what I think. I think if you're not faith driven, you lack drive, and in a sport like boxing, you need to be driven. You need to be. You can't be coming in this gym with your head down and dragging your feet. You've got to be in here. Come on, let's go. Do you know what I mean? Let's go prove to the world what I'm about. So, yeah, always been faith driven, and I think going to Manchester probably made it even easier. I went to a church called Audacious Church, great church. Oh mate, unbelievable church, right? A modern day church. And yeah, I was going, mate. I ended up going on one Sunday morning, and I ended up going 3 times a week. Ended up just being part of the furniture there. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's always try and keep my faith involved.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And on Saturday night, you've got Fury Matmadov.
Yep.
Talk a little bit of boxing. How do you see that fight playing out? I mean, there's rumours that, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium isn't really being sold out. There's tickets available. I think I've seen on Ticketmaster £19.
Ain't bad, is it?
It's not bad, is it? So why pay for, what's it on? Netflix when you can go watch it live?
Literally.
Just your thoughts on that?
Look, let's be fair. Someone like Fury now, he's obviously, I'm a massive fan of Fury. He's one of my idols in boxing, but you're kind of getting the public's attention, then you're retiring, you're losing public's attention. You're getting their attention, you're losing it. So then it creates a lot of jealous heart. Boxing fans, I've always said, are the worst fans in the world. They'll love you 1 minute and they'll hate you the next. So I think that's just a prime example of it. Conor Ben's getting a bit of stick, so now everyone hates him. When he beat Chris Eubank, everyone loved him. Like, it's that up and down spiral. So obviously Fury main event, Conor Cole, I believe when the fight was first made, it was probably Fury's going to sell X amount, Conor's going to sell the rest. Undercard be cheap, but I don't think it's gone as well as they have because of the media speculations and things like that.
Mm-hmm. And how do you see, obviously Conor Ben's had to make weight from £160 to a catch weight of 150. You went from, I guess you did the opposite, you went from super middle to like what's he going to be feeling, because you know firsthand what it's like to cut that much weight?
It's nice to get used to a weight. Long as he's sparred at the weight at least once, then I think your body kind of adapts to it. And it depends what's coming in back at you in front. Do you know what I mean? If Prograis comes in there shot to bits, no disrespect, then it could be an easy night anyways. So it depends who you're in front of. Do you know what I mean? I've been absolutely weight drained, and I've got someone who ain't pushing the pressure on me, and I can just skip behind me jab and box and move and just do what I need to do. It all depends who's in front of you. But having said that, I think Conor's fine. Do you know what I mean? When you've done some weight cuts and then you've put weight on, you've been doing it all your life without even knowing it. So it's minor.
And then final couple, because we've been going for nearly 25 minutes. What does 2026 look like for you? How many times do you want to get back up?
Do you know what? It's probably, for me, it's not about not about the amount of times. I always say get active, but I think everything's led up to the point I'm in now. Like, I've wanted to be in big fights. I believe I should be in big fights now. So just give me the big fights, man. Like, I know I say it a lot, but I wanna leave some sort of thing for my potential kids. Like I say, please God, to say, God, look what my dad done. Look, bum, bum, bum. So these fights with these big names, just let's do it, man. Let's get it on. Like, let's see what I'm about. Might not be that good. Soon find out. Do you know what I mean? Like, and the only way to find out, don't matter what I'm doing in this gym and what I'm sparring, what I'm doing on pads, it's getting in there and doing it on the night. So I might go in there, I might chin all these boys, I might out of the blue, where's his power come from? I might go and get chinned. It's the excitement, right? So I think there's no time like the present, and yeah, I'm looking forward just to mixing it with the big names, man.
And then finally, what do you hope to achieve from boxing? Is it financial security over being champion, or like do you think the money comes with the belts? You say?
I always, when I first turned pro, I wanted to win the British. That was my main goal. The more politics I see in boxing, like the more what I didn't really know. I knew there was some, but what I didn't know. It's like, look, I'm going in there, I'm risking my life technically every fight. I'm in here getting my head hit daily. And life means everything, right? Health over everything. So I want to get a few quid behind me, and I want to be in big, exciting fights. So that's the two what matters. I don't want to be, no disrespect to Derek Chisora, doing it for 13, 14 fights in these big fights and not winning them. But I want to be in 5 or 6 big fights, and I believe I've only really had one, and that's Ellis Oro. So if I look back on my career and I had 25 fights or 22 fights, I'm already on 12, another 10, and 5 of them was main cards and British and European and world title fights, I'll be buzzing, mate. Do you know what I mean? Because with them fights come the money, and with them fights come the big nights, the performance, the pride, the all of that. So I think that's the goal for me, is to be involved in the big fights.
Perfect, John. I think that's a great way to end. Thank you so much for your time.
Proper, brother.
Thank you.
Lovely to
Thank
meet
you.
you.
Nice.
Yeah,
And you
man.
too.